The Last Ronin is a super emotional and captivating miniseries with our beloved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. While the story is fantastic and amazing, it's also super sad as most of our favourite turtle characters meet brutal deaths, leaving April as the only survivor. Despite the heartbreaking storyline, it's a must-read for all turtle fans. The death of Raphael, the first character to meet his untimely demise. His demise is depicted in a flashback, revealing the destruction of the truce between the Foot Clan and the Turtles, and as a result the Turtles are ambushed, and their mentor Splinter is brutally attacked, leaving him on the brink of death. Raphael is devastated to hear the news of Splinter's condition and loses control of his emotions. Consumed by rage, he storms into a meeting held by Karai, the leader of the Foot Clan, and single-handedly takes on the entire army of soldiers. The battle is fierce and unforgiving, and Ralph sustains numerous damage from spears and arrows. Despite this, he manages to fight on, and in a moment of triumph, he defeats every Foot Clan soldier in the meeting. With only Karai remaining, the two engage in a final showdown, which ultimately leads to their downfall. Raphael stabs Karai in the back, while she jabs under his chin right through his head. The impact of the wounds prove fatal for Raphael, and he dies shortly thereafter. Leo and Casey Jones. Honeycutt and the few remaining survivors received a grim message. Baxter had found them and was sending an army of deadly robots to finish them off. Leonardo and Casey Jones took charge, urging everyone else to leave and protect their loved ones. Michelangelo hesitated, but Casey insisted. "I need you to protect my wife, and we need you to keep Honeycutt safe." Reluctantly, Michelangelo and the others retreated, leaving Leonardo and Casey to face the overwhelming army alone. The two warriors fought with all their might, cutting down robot after robot, but no matter how many they destroyed, more kept coming. They knew they couldn't win, they are only delaying the inevitable. Their goal was not to survive, but to buy time for their friends to escape. As the battle raged on, Baxter grew impatient. He pressed a button that triggered a massive explosion, obliterating everything in his path. Leonardo and Casey Jones were buried in the burning rubble, their bodies totally destroyed. Honeycutt was also caught in the blast, but his consciousness survived to resurface in the future. Meanwhile, Splinter and Donatello travel to Japan to investigate why the treaty between them and the Foot Clan was destroyed. They meet with a samurai group who are planning to make a new treaty with the Foot Clan, but they are very wary that this may be a trap. As it turns out, their fears are justified, and they are soon surrounded by Foot Clan samurai. A brutal fight starts, with Splinter and Donatello fighting valiantly against their attackers. However, the Foot Clan leader orders his archers to rain down a hail of arrows upon them. In a heroic act of self-sacrifice, Donatello puts himself in front of Splinter and takes the arrows to his body. Another hail of arrows follows, and this time Splinter is hit and killed. The surviving samurai give them a hero's burial, honouring their bravery and sacrifice. In the final issue of the comic, the deaths of Hiroto and Michelangelo, the Last Ronin, are depicted in a thrilling fight scene. Michelangelo sustains injuries while fighting Hiroto, but he eventually discovers Hiroto's weakness, and the two deal heavy blows to each other. The fight eventually leads to the sewers and then to the outskirts of the city, where the final showdown takes place in the sewer muck. In the end, Michelangelo emerges victorious and prepares to finish Hiroto off. However, Hiroto executes a suicide attack by grabbing his heart. An electrical spear covers them both, leading to Hiroto drowning in the muck. Michelangelo survives but is wounded and dying. Despite his injuries, Michelangelo manages to say farewell to April and Casey Jr. He leaves Casey with a book that contains all the teachings he has received from his father Splinter and his brothers, so she can continue their legacy. The scene is poignant and represents the end of an era for the Ninja Turtles. The conclusion of The Last Ronin may be bittersweet, but it ultimately ends on a hopeful note. Though their journey may have been difficult and wrought with challenges, the Turtles find comfort in their shared experience and knowledge that they will always be together, even in death.